get my YouTube channel up so I can see myself and hear myself. Let's see if this works. Let's hope this does work. Talk among yourselves. La-di-la-di-la. Right. So Scrap, say something. See if I can hear you. La-di-la-di-la. Right. So Scrap, say something. See if I can hear you. Try that again, Scrap. No, I can't hear you. No, I can hear like a replay of myself, but I can't hear you. Oh crap. Just say something for like, just count to 10 something, Scrap, just see if I can pick you up at all. Hang on. No, it's not picking you up at all.
Might.
Why is that then?
I've just found a setting. You might be able to hear me in a minute. Hopefully. I went onto the main party menu.
Yeah, we got you.
There we go.
It's a bit of a lag, but
yes.
Bit of a lag. There we go. So what did you have to do to get that working?
I went into party. Actually, I didn't hold the PS button. I pressed it and went on the main menu, the proper menu, party, and then party settings, and it seems to have allowed me to see it differently, so I can find it.
Right, well, let's crack on then. So as you're here and people can hear you, this would be cool. Yeah. So, right, okay, here we go then. You got yourself a drink, Scrap, by the way?
No, I haven't. Let me go and get a
glass. Yeah, go get yourself a drink.
You can do an introduction. Is this a live one? Are we doing this from here now?
Yeah, do it from here now while we're set up and ready.
Not a problem. Right, I'm all good.
Cool. Right then. Hello and welcome everyone. Here we are in race 8 now of the MRC GTTCC Pro 2 League. This week we're at Dragon Trail, and we've got a special guest with us this week, but we'll get to him in a second. But we'll go through the grid walk of how they qualified at Dragon. Again, I wish they would have the qualifying times because I never know what they're like. But here we have in first place Craig Maximus Desmus Meridius in his Scooby on racing softs on the front, super softs on the back. In second place, the Audi, this is always a fast car around this track, of McDaddy on racing super softs, qualified in second. And here we have Scrap Drifter, who I'm delighted to say is joining me live for this race. Hopefully everyone can hear him still. Hello Scrap, how you doing, mate?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you very much. The morning of the night before. Here you are in third place on the grid. Did you feel like you had a good qualifying time? And did you have any strategy going into this race? I see you on racing super softs. Yeah. Were you planning on basically just doing a one stop, or did at any point did you think of doing a no stopper at this race?
No, I didn't. This track hammers this car, and to be honest with you, it was one of the hardest races of the season I've had up to that.
Were you pleased with your qualifying time, the third?
Do you know, I really was until obviously Mac Daddy and Craig came along, because it's the fastest time I've put in all week.
So what times were you doing in your practices?
Do you know, I've struggled to get 1:37 dead, but then in the last 48 hours I managed to get it, and then obviously I've come along today, last night, I put in a 1:47.3.
47? Do you mean 37?
37, sorry.
Yeah.
And obviously then Mac Daddy came along and it
Man
just
alive.
ruined it for me.
I could only dream, myself, Beserker-Boy, I could only dream of getting 137s. The most I ever did in one practice, the best I could do was a 38 dead. Just
Yeah,
something about this track just didn't click with me.
no.
And then we'll get onto my tactics in a bit. Just while I've got you on as well, so you and I pretty much are fighting for the championship lead at the moment. Did this cross your mind as you were racing that you thought, oh, I'm ahead of Beserker-Boy, he's 2 cars behind me? Did that cross your mind at all?
To be honest, no, it didn't this race because I was concentrating that much.
Fair enough.
But the next race, I was concentrating, thinking about where you were.
Right, okay. So,
Just so everybody knows, I did not start the battle. You started the battle between you. You declared it. You declared this.
well, I got a feeling it's not going to last much longer because you're a quality driver, mate. So we'll see how this race pans out for you as well. But I know there's shenanigans with myself a bit later on, bit low on in the race. But yeah, thanks for that. So I'll let you get back to your car and everything, and I'll carry on back through the field. So yeah, cheers, Scrap. TC Idle here in 4th place, racing Supersoft in his Jag. Myself, Berserker in the Scooby in 5th. To be honest, I was absolutely shocked I got so far up the grid in 5th. I'd had a horrendous practice at this circuit and I just couldn't get it together. Watched those replay videos of how to be quick at this track, and I was really pleased I was so high up. I was expecting to be down about 8th, 9th, something like that. As you can see, I'm on racing mediums and racing Supersofts. And the reason I went for that is because because I was struggling in this track. I thought the only way I could maybe gain some seconds is by doing a no stopper. And in the practices, I was going around the track on racing medium on the front. I was only about half second, 3/4 of a second off my normal pace on racing Supersoft. So the idea for me was to go on racing mediums to maybe lap about 20 minutes, 22 minutes in, see if I thought I had a big enough lead or what the situation. Well, lead, that's a laugh. Lead at that point at all. But that was wishful thinking. See what the situation was about 22 minutes in, either carry on and try and no stop or do a splash and dash for racing Supersofts. But as we're seeing this race, all my plans went to pot basically, so we'll come back to that in a bit. Anyway, so moving on, we got Aaron Total Rose in 6th place on racing Supersofts, Blackie on racing Softs in his Scooby back here, Zafiro racing Supersofts in 8th, Woody in GTR on racing Softs front, racing Supersofts back. Sayrex GTR in 10th. Surprised Sayrex is so far back. I've seen him being really quick around here. He's back in 10th place on a GTR. Hammer Games back here in 11th in a Scooby on racing Supersofts. We've got a big field today. Jason back here in 12th on the GTR racing Supersofts. Alehead in racing Supersofts, and that's your field. Scrap, I'll just ask you one more question before we crack on. Did you notice that this circuit, for whatever reason, seems to really chew through the tyre wear a lot quicker than other circuits? And I couldn't really figure out why that was.
It's just a long speed left-handers, isn't it? But I mean, my front right was getting hammered, and my back left looked like brand new before I got them changed in the pit.
But that's what I mean. The front right was getting hammered, but there's only like the first corner, and
chucking some speed.
Yeah, I know you're chucking that into speed, but like you, my front rights were going, and it was only really this front right, this turn 1, that was really putting a huge amount of pressure on it, and I just thought, okay, I get it. Turn 1, it's a hard, fast right-hand turn, but that pretty much was only it. There wasn't really a huge amount of any other turns in the circuit which seemed to scrub off. But I was, because I noticed we'll get to it as well. I know Aaron pitted quite early in this race. It really, anyone on racing Supersofts, I thought was going to struggle big time. To keep going for such a like yourself in a GTR. I thought you'd struggle to keep going to about 15 minutes into the race. With such an abrasive track, But
It was on the limit with the tyre wear after 15 minutes, I must admit. But I think I left it an extra lap from the 15-minute mark. I think I managed to go another lap on them tyres.
right, okay.
But it's turn 1, turn 2, and then the hairpin after that, because you've got to be on the brakes rock hard and turning in at the same time if you want to be quick.
All right, okay. Well, that's maybe something for everyone to take note of, especially myself, because I was rubbish at this circuit, but here we go. Right then, so we'll crack on. Hopefully you're ready as well, Scrap. So I'm going to count us down from the start. I've just started playing it now. The green lights are off. We are waiting for the red lights to come up. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights. Cars are revving in. Holding, and we're off. So here we go. Oh, McDaddy gets a shocker of a start. McDaddy's bogged down big. Not only did he bog down big time in the Audi, he's just lost so much. And there's a right gaggle of drivers now coming into turn 1. At the moment, Craig has got off to a blinder of a start. Beserker's managed to get in front up to second, and then we've got a whole melee of drivers coming through this horrible chicane, the first chicane, with those red bars. The quickest line through that first chicane is over the red bars, but get it wrong and you get a time penalty. So streaming down now, let's go through the field, coming down here to the main hairpin. Craig Maximus in his Subaru is out in front now, with Beserker-Boy in second place, closely followed by TC Idol third. Scrap is in fourth, fifth is Mark, sixth is Total, seventh Zafiro, 8 is Woody, 9th is Serix, who's just drifted wide there. 10th is the Hammer Games, 11th McDaddy. McDaddy's gone all the way back to 11th place from third on the grid. He's a disaster for him. Oh, Aaron's binned it. Oh, let's just see what Aaron's spun it up all by himself back here. I'm going to quickly go back to that. Just see where Aaron spins it. He's going through the first set of S's. And he's got that right. I think he's going to get it wrong. He's right behind Blackie here from 6th place. Gets it on the red side. Spins it round. Bins it into the barrier all by himself. Total Rose has totally wrecked his car for a time being and put him at the back of the pack. So, coming through the fast, horrible, kind of weird, long right-hander section of the infield, as it were. Those long right-hand turns. Scrap Drifter up here in fourth. He's looking at the back end of Beserker for this lead in front. Berserker's fighting with TC Idol, but gets in front. TC Idol's on the grass. He's just drifted too wide. And his bouncing Jag has now lost places all the way back down to fifth. Oh, he's now being caught by Zafiro. Zafiro's on the inside line to coming into turn 1. So yeah, side by side, but he's got it through. So, if I remember rightly, yep. Oh, he's done it. I remember right. Oh, sorry, missed it. There we go. Craig's binned it. We'll go back and see what happens here with Craig from the lead. See, we're on board with Craig coming around turn 1. Going into the first. Oh, it's well early. I thought he'd got it later than that, but Craig's binned it all by himself. He's trying to recover, and he's now trying to get back onto the circuit and avoid everyone else. He's fallen all the way back now to 11th place. Disaster for Craig, who's had pole sitters now got back all the way to 11th. So we're now go back up through the field, which is just allowed. Here we are, Beserker-Boy with Scrap Drifter coming up to the hairpin. Scrap, I'm just going to come to you here, Scrap. Did you think that Berserker was a sitting duck? Because frankly, I thought I was a sitting duck most of the time. Or did it seem like I was going the right races lines? Did you see any weaknesses in any of the lines that I was going through?
Not at that moment. The main thing going through my mind was just to get a couple of laps under everybody's belt without incidents and crack on from there, to be honest. But
yep.
Yeah, I've just managed to creep up the side of you. But I just clicked with the track, like I say, in the last 48 hours. It just came to me for some reason.
Do you the section of the track, the infield, where it's like this long right-hand turn with like 4 apexes? When you go through that section, did you try and hit each apex, or did you go wide at one point and then just hit the apexes late?
I was experimenting. I actually tried it both ways during the race.
Because I couldn't figure out what was best, to be honest, but carry on. Sorry, carry on.
More controllable. Wider seemed to be more controllable, and you got a better drive for the exit up the straight. Tighter, if you could pull it off, was good for overtaking.
Right. Okay, that's good. Good point. While you were talking, I've just watched you go straight into the lead. You got that. You got Berserker at turn 1, and then you're now through the chicane. I just hate that chicane. I thought that's a horrible chicane. There is some good chicanes, but that one was just horrible. And I had an incident myself in that chicane with someone, which we'll come to a bit later. Blackie's obviously, I think, has just suffered what I was just talking about. Going through that chicane, he got a penalty for it. He's now side by side with TC Idol, going underneath the hill up to the second set of S's. But TC Idol's got his 5th place back in a beautiful looking Jag. I'm so pleased TC's kept that livery on that Jag. It looks absolutely fantastic. So McDaddy's got back up to 6 as well. He was back to a 10th place, so the Audi power starting to tell as he's coming through the first of the 4 hairpins of that right turn. He's nicked all 4 apexes. There's a nice tidy line there by McDaddy, one of the fastest drivers on this circuit, especially in the Audi. Yeah. So here we go, 4 minutes 47 into the race. Looks like Berserker's now about to lose second place to Zafiro, who's undercut him at the last turn. Pushed Berserker just a tad wide, but nothing dangerous or wrong. There's 2 Subarus screaming down the start-finish straight. 5 minutes in now. Scrap Drifter's now pulled away. He's good about second or so in front of the 2 Subarus fighting for second place. Woody's now joined the party in this lead group. He's right up the tailpipe to Berserker. Outbrakes the Berserker into the first chicane. Berserker gives Woody a little bit of a nudge there, and now Berserker's trying to get a run up the inside of Woody, but Woody's blocking with the fat end of that GTR, so Berserker's now starting to go backwards. And here comes McDaddy from 5th place. He's also going to get past that Berserker. I'll be honest, at this point in the race, when the cars started streaming past me, because I was on racing mediums as well, I knew I'd be going slower. I wasn't too bothered. I kind of was just hoping to just cruise around behind like the lead bunch, as it were. I thought there'd be about 5 or 6 drivers in front of me, and if I could just stay in the slipstream and kind of like cruise around the mediums, you guys would all start pitting and I just carry on. But unfortunately it didn't quite work out for me that way, and I'm starting to now Scraps really starting to put out a lead in front of Zafiro through the 4. We need to come up with a name for the 4 bender or something like that. The 4 bender right hand turn. So now we're coming up to the end of lap 4, where TC's Idol is trying to look around the outside of Berserker. They've already had a bit of a kerfuffle at this last hairpin, and hopefully TC's going to avoid it again. Yeah, the Jag power is going to get Berserker into turn 1. So I'll just go back through, see what else is going on. The drivers are line astern, to be fair. We've got Sayrex is up to 7th now. Looks like he's going to get past Berserker. Who else is there? We've got Blackie creeping up in this group. The Hammer Games, this is a really sporty field. Oh, there's a bit of shenanigans going on there. Who was that? Sayrex and TC Idol and Berserker all being squeezed together, but no, all good still. On board here with Blackie. He's now joined this 4-way melee. I don't really want to just focus on these 4 though, because I want to see what's going on up further ahead. So here we go, Scrap Drifter. Now 7 minutes into the race. Time away on that GTR is looking pretty good, to be honest. Yeah. Starting to get into his rhythm. Just coming up to the start at the beginning of the second set of S's. Let's go through here. Oh, I know what's coming up. There's an incident coming up. Here we go. I'm just going to have to pause it. Oh, there's carnage going on behind. We'll go back from TC Idol's point of view. No, from Blackie's point of view. There's Berserker, Blackie and TC Idol squeezing into one spot. They bump together once, then bump together twice. Puts Blackie, Berserker, TC Idol off. There's carnage going on behind. TC's in the kitty litter. Berserker's now back to 10th. It really just a racing incident. There's nothing. It was just 3 drivers trying to get into one spot, and that sort of thing's going to happen. But unfortunately, the league leader at the moment has now been bundled off the track back into 9th. He's now being followed by Blackie. So in the meantime, it's opened up a big gap to allow Total Rose to get up to 8th. Craig's back up to 7th. Hammer's up to 6th. That's a good result for Hammer. Hammer's having a good race. This Subaru-led field, I've got to say. So Craig is in 6th, just going through the field again. And here we are back up with Scrap Drifter. waltzing away. We're now 8.5 minutes into the race. You're about, let's look at it, about 2 seconds ahead of Zafiro and McDaddy. Any thoughts of what was going on in your head at this point, Scrap? Do you think you were going to start pulling away from Zaf, or were you just taking it easy?
No, I saw McDaddy coming for the last lap and started to panic.
As you should. I've just looked at it. I'm just looking at McDaddy now, coming down to the first hairpin. McDaddy's done a 1:37 flat as his fastest time, and that was right behind Zafiro as well. He's now up into second place. Great driving by McDaddy. And I'm looking at your fastest lap times. Your last lap was a 37.7, and before that was a 37.5. So you're at least half a second slower at this part of the race than that Audi behind you. And he's going through the here we are up to the four bender coming out with McDaddy, and a great looking livery. He's done a better job in his livery this week than he did early on in the season, I have to say. He's going underneath the bridge, coming up to the last hairpin. You can see he's pulled away from Zafiro already. He's obviously got you in his sights. So at any point in this race, because we're now 10 minutes in, did you ever think about perhaps maybe pitting a little bit early, or just stick to the game plan?
I did a little bit of reverse psychology on McDaddy. I knew he was going to wait for me to pit, and I knew that car hammers tyres. So at this point I know I'm going to be the same speed as him, or possibly, hopefully, slightly quicker on a lap. But as you can see, no.
I was going to say, we're now on lap 7 into the first chicane. I'm on board with McDaddy now. He's reeled you in a lot already in half a lap. Oh, he's got it wrong on the exit though. So anyway, right, just go through the field. We're now 10 minutes in. At first place, we've got Scrap Drifter. His best lap is a 37.5. Racing Supersofts. Front right is starting to look worn. The hard charging McDaddy has really come on over the last couple of weeks in this series. Is chasing down Scrap Drifter, visually getting closer now in second place. Done a 37 flat. Zafiro's hanging on to third place. He's got through the field. Great driving by the Dutchman. His tyre situation is looking good. He's done a 37.6. Woody in the GTR's done a 37.8, and he's still in fourth place. He's obviously got through the melee of carnage behind and the drivers. Sayrex has got up to fifth, done 38.2s. Craig's back to sixth. The pole sitter's back to sixth place. He's starting to put in good lap times. He's done 37.5s. He's might be coming through the field. Hammer Games is in seventh, and he's done 37.9. But then there's a big gap then for the rest of the field. The first 7 drivers are all there or thereabouts. Coming up to the last hairpin, we've got Beserker on racing mediums. He's done 39, so he's 2 seconds off the pace, which is a bit slower than, I'll be honest, it's a bit slower than I thought. I was doing racing mediums and super softs on the back, and in practice I was managing to get into mid 38s, but I just couldn't get it together this night. I just don't know what it was. It just wasn't working for me. Blackie is right behind me, but he's just almost drifted wide. He's in ninth, done 38.6s. He's been caught by TC Idol in the Jag going through the first chicane. It's a horrible chicane. It's a family show, but I really want to call it the shit chicane. TC Idol now side by side with Blackie as we speak, coming down the hill, and he's got past it. I mean, Blackie's got another penalty going through the chicane, so he's got up to ninth. Totaro's, he's had a disaster as well. He's back in 11th, done 37.9s. There's a big field. Jason's back here in 12th, 39.4. And back here in last place at the moment is Arrowhead on 38.6. So Arrowhead's got the speed to catch up with the drivers in front. Gosh, with a big field, it's taken me 2 minutes to get through everyone. So we'll go back up to the battle up front. And as you can see, just going under the bridge, the lead 2 drivers, are Scrap Drifter and McDaddy, have certainly pulled off a big lead now. Well, not a huge big lead, a big enough lead over Zafiro in third. You can see that McDaddy's going to make his move on Scrap Drifter at some point soon. Woody has got a big gap here, but then the main battle at the moment, the closest one, is 5th place Craig, followed by Sayrex in 6th, and the Hammer Games. He's having a great race for Hammer in 7th. So, like, while we're I'll just go for some glory shots from there while I just have a quick drink. Hang on a second. Alright, so there we go. Alright. Just see if anyone else gets it wrong. I think there's an instant coming up here. Here we come. There's an instant into... we've got Beserker-Boy now. On board with Beserker-Boy. Coming into the first chicane. TC Idol's in front of me. He slows up through the chicane as Beserker gets a great run, and Beserker unfortunately punts the rear end of that Jag, and then TC Idol waits for Beserker. I have to be honest, I was shouting, go on, it's fine, keep going, but he's still trying to slow up, waiting for me. It's just put me back to 11th place. So at this point, I'll be honest, I thought, oh, that's it, my race is run. I'm back in 11th place. I'm now going even slower. This is done. I've just got I can see 8th place up in front of me, and that's the best I thought I could get. So, in the meantime, back up front, we are now 14.5 minutes into the race. Scrap Drift has gone under the bridge, coming around the hairpin for the last time. Scrap, did you think about pitting this lap? Did you pit this lap, or did you go for one more lap?
I think I went for one more. I looked at the tyres and I thought, yeah, there's another lap in them. So if Matt Daddy wanted to have more of a battle towards the end of the race, I might have a bit more tyre life left if I left it later for the pit, if you get me.
I do. Oh, Zafiro's gone into the pits. Someone else has gone into the pits as well. So Zafiro Woody's gone into the pits. Did you think about maybe doing a bit of race? Oh, you've gone very wide turn one. McDaddy's got. I thought you had a run on you there into this first chicane. Yeah. Did you think about purposely holding McDaddy up just longer to wear his tyres out anymore?
No, because also he's my teammate as well.
Oh, so is he? Oh, crumbs, yeah.
Yeah, so, it was a bit of a difficult... Like I say, it was an amazing race. It was very difficult to predict, think, even plan as I was going, because, I mean, I did not plan for this at all, so anything I had planned went out of the window. I was literally making it up as I went along.
Oh, fair enough, cool. So, Scrap's now out in first place. He's going through the first set of S's. He's got McDaddy. McDaddy seems to have been close, but not really made an attempt to... get past you. I'm just wondering if he was actually struggling with tyre wear more than we've given credit for, as it were. That he's actually not been able to try and make a move on you, because he's actually just trying to stick with you rather than get past you. So we'll see how it goes. But anyway, right, so we're going through the whole pit windows part of the race where the driver's going to chop and change, so we'll just go through who's pitted. Zafiro's pitted, and he's still come out into third place. Craig has pitted, but no, he hasn't pitted. He's still in fourth. Wood is pitted, and he's back in fifth. So here we are on board now. Scrap Drifter into the pits. What's the name of your pit crew, Scrap?
I've not named them, but
you need to give them a name. I've got the Tyre Boys. They're all Thai boys.
Okay. Yeah, I'll think of something.
Yeah, think of names too. But basically, yeah, McDaddy's pitted at the exact same point as you, and you've both come straight out the pits 1 and 2. Same situation, but now it might be interesting to see what McDaddy's going to do on a fresh set of tyres in that fast Audi. He's still got a fairly decent gap over Zafiro in third. Woody's got back to fourth, but he's been harassed now by Hammer Games, and Hammer Games has pitted. So this is for his proper position. There's nothing to do with pit stops anymore. Hammer Games looking to undercut the GTR. He's going to be brave to do it here in the hairpin. Puff of smoke from the tyres, but Hammer Games, clean move. Great move there by Nick. Takes fourth place in the Durex sponsored Scooby. He's up to fourth. Woody drops back to fifth. So let's go back here. Craig. Oh gosh, Craig. I bet he's kicking himself. He's back here in sixth place. The pole sitter. He's not put in the same sort of lap times that he has done to get his pole position though. He's only done three sub 38 times. The rest of them have been 38s and 39s. So I'm surprised his paces seem to have dropped off from his pole position time. But yeah, he's just gone through the 4 bender there. Sayrex is in 7th. All gaps are starting to appear now. Totorose is 8th. There's a long gap now between Totorose and 8th. And Beserker in 9th. So Beserker's got back up from 11th to 9th. Black is back in 10th. TC Ido 11th. Jason's 12th. And Arrowhead's 13th. So the last 5 drivers all got something to race for because they're all within sight of each other. But here we are, back on board with Scrap Drifter. The field's properly strung out now. Nice tidy line there by Scrap. Hits both those red markers over the first chicane. But again, the Audi's there, but he's not quite close enough. He's not quite close enough. He's thinking about. He's coming into the hairpin now. Oh, he's little. I thought he left the brake in late then in that Audi, but he's right up the tailpipes of Scrap Drifter now. Round the hairpin, on board with McDaddy here, going into the first set of S's. It's going to be interesting to see because the Audi is front-wheel drive and the GTR's four-wheel drive. This should be where the GTR starts to pull away a little bit. But Scrap looks like he's got it slightly wrong. Oh, McDaddy's looking up to the inside there of the first part, the four-bender. So I shouldn't. At least we didn't have you live on air saying I've got my wire all twisted.
No.
So at the moment we are now 20 minutes, well, 19 and a half minutes into the race. Scrap, you know, you must have thought, when is McDaddy gonna make a move? He's very patient, I have to say. Did you think you were weak at any point in the circuit? Oh, here we go. Speaking of which, I've spoke too soon. Commentator's curse. Yeah, coming up the start-finish straight. The power of the Audi is just cruising past the GTR. So McDaddy's got into the lead. Fantastic clean move. We're on board now with Scrap. He's looking to fight up the inside into turn 2, into the hairpin, and he's got it. Well, the chicane, not the hairpin, the rubbish chicane.
Yes. Hell.
Yeah, it's horrible. I didn't think that chicane. I don't know about you, Scrap. I didn't think the risk was worth it. If you got that line slightly wrong, you got a time penalty, and I actually found it difficult to hit the right racing line all the time. So I tended to, unless I was trying to make a move on someone, not go that route. Did you manage to smoothly find a way to go over that first chicane?
I did. I must admit, I can push harder through it and possibly get a penalty or possibly mess the exit up. So like you just said, I've relaxed a little bit, found a nice, happy medium between the two, nice line and nice speed.
So when you race, because also this might be pertinent to that chicane, when you race, did you race from third person point of view, from the cockpit, front bumper, bonnet, which sort of perspective?
I'm bumper cam, not a lot of people are. I don't have anything on my screen apart from the track and the sky, everything.
Because I think that would help you be really precise through that chicane, so you could see exactly where you're going. But I drive from third person point of view, and I found it difficult to be precise. And the reason I drive third person point of view is because when you're in a bunch of traffic and stuff like that, it's nice to be more aware of who's around you, as it were, so you can avoid them. I find with the bumper view, it's a bit, you're never quite sure who's left or right.
Yeah, it is difficult. Takes a long time to develop sensory skills where you know what's around you. I was constantly in the rear view mirror when McDaddy was behind me. I couldn't concentrate on anything else apart from the mirror. I was constantly trying to block. Even now, when I've got a gap, I knew he was coming, so I had to block.
So here we are. We're now 22 minutes in, coming down to the first hairpin. McDaddy is still looking at the tail end of that GTR. He's already shown his hand once at the turn 1. Let's see if Daddy can find another way past Scrap Drifter. We'll just go through the field again, see what's going on with the rest of the boys. But these two are definitely the class of the field today at Dragon Gardens, not Dragon Eagle. Scrap Drifter's in first, McDaddy second, Zafiro still manfully plugging away at trying to catch the two in front, but he's pulled a big gap. So there is a big gap now between him and McDaddy, so he's on his own here in third place. He's got a sizable gap over Woody, who's back up to fourth, with Craig is now in fifth place, Hammer Games sixth. So Hammer Games has dropped back, he's lost his position to Craig. Craig's slowly getting his way back through the field. Let's have a look at his lap times. Craig's doing mid 37s again, so suddenly he's picked up his pace sort of late into the race with 7 minutes to go, coming down the start finish straight, looking to get that Subaru on board now with Craig. He's gonna He's got a drive against Woody here. Coming across the line now at the beginning of lap 15. He's just done his fastest lap, which was a 36.8. Wow, Craig's got back into the 36s this late into the race. So look at his tyre wear, his minimal tyre wear. So he's right on a proper charge, is Craig. And you can see Zafiro just a couple of turns up ahead, going through the shit chicane, for one another way of putting it. He's now got a decent gap over Woody. So Craig is on a charge, definitely on a charge as the field starts to spread out. Back here with Hammer Games now in 6th place. He's also now sizing up the back end of that GTR there of Woodhays. Going into the hairpin. Woody's gone a bit deep there, but Hammer Games, he's doing consistent 37s and he's right up the tail now, pipes now of that Godzilla GTR. Coming into the second S's. Oh, gets it slightly undercuts there, Woody. It's difficult to find a passing place through the S's. It's almost impossible unless someone literally gets it completely wrong. You can just drive past them. Into the 4 bender now. Oh, he's right. Hammer's even giving Woody a little nudge, like a hurry up nudge. Under the bridge, he's letting Woody know he's right up his tailpipes. He's got to look out for the Subaru. Wouldn't be surprised if Hammer Games is flashing his lights at him. Coming into the last hairpin. Can he find a way past Woody down the start-finish straight, just like Craig did in the Subaru in front? So close to the back end of that GTR now, you can see the sweat putting off Woody's forehead, surely. But no, he's not quite going to do it. Turn 1. Oh, it's fantastic. This is so close. Oh, he is. He's undercut Woody here at turn 1. Fantastic move there by the Hammer Games. Can he hold it into the first chicane? Yes, he has. That's great stuff there by the boys. So Wood has now dropped back to 6th. Sayer X is back in 7th. Toto Rose is 8th. Blackie's in 9th. TC Idol's 10th. Beserker's dropped back to 11th. Jason is back in 12th. I think Beserker's back to 11th, yeah, because I've had a pit stop. So I'm back to 11th again. Jason's just come out of the pits in 12th. And Aohead's driving a very lonely Jag all on his own. Hazard lights flashing back here in 13th. So we've got coming up to 4 minutes to go. Back here on board with the closest battle on the circuit at the moment. We've now got McDaddy is all over the back of Scrap Drifter, coming out of 4 bender, coming down under the bridge to the last hairpin. Surely McDaddy's got the run on Scrap Drifter here. He's as close as he's been for a lap or so. Scrap, what were your thoughts at this moment? Were you thinking I've been in the lead of this race for so long, and here he is on lap. Here's McDaddy on lap 17. He's undercut me again. I can't do anything about it. Is this the time where I lose the lead?
Yeah, I went through my mind and then I just switched and thought, no. That's not
What did you think?
My girlfriend played a part in that as well last night. She was like, "What are you doing?"
Did you think that the GTR was stronger than the Audi through
No.
anywhere, or did you think they were sort of evenly matched?
They're not. That Audi's a completely different machine. I think I need to learn how to drive it. I can't drive front wheel drive cars.
I'm not a fan of them myself, but hey ho. I think we will all start to look at them a little bit more now that the Audi has proven that they are very, very competitive. I have to say, we're now on board with McDaddy going through the S's, and he's actually starting to get a bit of a gap over you. I would have thought if McDaddy, we're now 27 minutes in, 27:20 into the race, going through 4 bender. If McDaddy can get about half second lead by the start finish straight, he might start to pull away from you as well. You've really got to keep on. Your tyre wear's not looking too bad, but then it's actually a little bit worse than it is for McDaddy. McDaddy's tyre wear has actually gone really well. So I think McDaddy must be on a wheel. But here we go, last hairpin. McDaddy coming down the start finish straight. He's trying to lose your slipstream by going on the inside.
I didn't want to play that game.
Right, just a point of note, you've both gone under the start finish straight, and there's a helicopter about 200 foot off the ground. That distracted the hell out of me, that bloody helicopter. I know it was really weird it was so low, but there we go. Right, 2 minutes to go. McDaddy in the lead with this. I'll quickly go through the field, just see what else is going on. Then we'll come back to this because this looks like it's going to be a grandstand finish with the Audi. Or I do want to move away, but it looks like Scrap Drifter now is going to make a move on the McDaddy coming into the the first hairpin.
This is a great move.
Going around the outside. McDaddy's blocking the inside move. On board here with Scrap. Cuts up underneath the Audi. He's got much better traction coming out the turn. Cleanly takes the move. Fantastic move there by Scrap Drifter. He's got back into the lead with 1.25 minutes to go. I'm going to very, very quickly run through the field as we are before we get back to these two. So Scrap's back home in first. McDaddy second. Craig's got up to third. He's got past Zafira. Zafira must have had some sort of incident bit further back. Hammer Games is 5th, Woody's brought back to 6th, Sarex 7th, Total Rose is 8th, Black is 9th, Beserker's up to 10th, TC Idol's 11th, Jason 12th and Arrowhead 13th. Let's go back, here we are, to Scrap Drifter, 45 seconds to go. He's got an Audi buzzing around the back of his tailpipes. Come on Scrap, at this point you've got 30 seconds. Do you think, here we go, last lap, what's going to happen?
I did, I must admit, as I was coming round the four bender, shall we say, I knew there was another lap coming. I looked at my tyres and then I saw the Audi in my boot pretty much. He may as well just been on top of my car.
Yeah, we're going into turn 1. Yeah. Now, this is going to be, it's going to be awkward because some of the cars are going to finish while you guys are halfway round, so I'm going to come back to where you are. We're into the first chicane with 30 minutes to go, so let's go back through the field. So Total Rose has got thrust, so the first people to finish will be Blackie's going to finish in 9th place, Berserker's going to finish in 10th place. To be honest, 11th for Idol, Jason is going to finish 12th and Alehead is going to finish 13th. I'll be honest with you, Scrap, when I finished 10th, you know, it did go through my mind. I thought I've just handed you the championship. I know we've still got 4 races to go.
Anything can happen.
But I thought I need to get a half decent result. And finishing 10th is not gonna make me win a championship. I need to get high points in 10th, and I thought I know you're in the lead now. It's going to be difficult to keep the championship lead after this. So anyway, right, finally back with Scrap Drifter now. I'm going to go on board with McDaddy because all we can see is the tailpipes of that GTI in front. McDaddy, I think, has got one more opportunity, and that's going to be if he can close this gap through 4 bender to the last hairpin and then be right in the tailpipes of that GTR coming into the last drag down to the start finish straight. He's got a chance, but to be honest, he's lost so much ground through the 4 bender, and now he's gone out the slipstream coming up to the last hairpin. He's still a bit too far away. He's going to have to let it run. Can he get close? He's close enough. He's close, not close enough. No, it's too far away. So Scrap Drifter, fantastic drive by Scrap, harassed by McDaddy for the entire race, wins at Dragon Gardens. McDaddy's second, Craig Maximus Decimus Meridius, the pole sitter, probably kicking himself for binning it all by himself, is third. What could have been if Craig had kept it on the track. Zafiro's fourth, the Hammer Games fifth. Woody's going to come across the line now. Eventually, when the screen does it, here he goes in sixth. Sarex is in seventh. Total Rose finishes eighth. And there's the game for you, everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope everyone's enjoyed having Scrap Drifter here. So thanks for joining us, Scrap.
No problem.
Thanks for your input as well. It's nice to get someone else's point of view. Congratulations on the win. I shall look forward to doing the commentary on Autopolis because you didn't. Ha ha ha! We won't talk about that just yet. We have to people wait and see. So it's nice that you're not winning everything. That's all I'm going to say. But no, you're class of the field at the moment, and congratulations on your win. That's a fantastic drive. Also got to give big kudos here for McDaddy. He's coming on strong over this last few races. Well, Daddy's certainly picked up the pace, and certainly a driver who could still mess with the boys up front and get some. Hopefully, he can start getting some race wins as well. Craig, what could have been? I really think that would have been an even more interesting race if Craig hadn't have binned it early on in the race. But there we go. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you again soon. Thank you very much, Scrap, for joining us. And we shall see you all again soon. So take it easy, everyone. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.